The truth occurs.
Hey everyone, what do you buy for the man who has everything? How about an entire European village? Europe is now full of uninhabited villages that are turning into ghost towns that are selling for as little as 45,000 euros for the whole village, or 1,000 euros for a house in the village. Okay, this is actually part of a disturbing trend. It's not happening only in Europe, but pretty much everywhere, notably in China. A lot of villages have been abandoned. Some of them are now overgrown. Oddly enough, while this is happening, China is building these mega cities which currently stand empty. I did a video on this a while ago. Agenda 21 Ghost Cities Ready to Go. This is very real. This is really happening right now. These abandoned villages and these empty mega cities are part of this. So China has these empty villages and they have these empty mega cities. What's happening here actually is that because of Agenda 21, what is being encouraged is people moving into cities. You could say, well, people are moving into cities anyway. Isn't Agenda 21 just trying to help make those cities more eco-friendly? I think it's more than that. In the words of Agenda 21 themselves, in Chapter 7, Sustainable Human Settlements, 7.15, objective is to ensure sustainable management of all urban settlements. 7.18, encouraging intermediate city development. They go on to give a bunch of reasons why this would be a really great idea, but basically the whole thing with it is that, you know, they're saying, well, the way we live is unsustainable, our cities are unsustainable, which is, you know, possibly very true the way things are right now, but their proposed solution is just to create more cities. So, you know, one of the sad side effects of this is things like Chinese and European villages being abandoned because money is being funneled towards the development of urban areas, intermediate, what do they call them? Intermediate city developments. And there's actually something called the Trans-American Passenger Network, America 2050, which Obama supports and endorses. And all new developments for the next 25 years must be within half a mile of transit-oriented centers. That's part of the stipulation of this program, that the priority in funding is to given to these development areas that are around these large transit arteries that would not only be within a city but city to city, which in and of itself maybe is not so bad, but the fact is this is where the money is going. The money is going into funding cities. And so that may have something to do with why little villages are dying. I saw a presentation in my own neighborhood a few years ago, total Agenda 21 thing. It was about, what are we going to do about the cities? Cities, one of the problems with cities is that they rely on everything from the outside to come in, and that a lot of people don't live in the city themselves. They live in the, why am I getting the French word? Les banlieues, the suburbs, okay? The problem with this is a lot of car traffic, a lot of pollution, and so this is not good for the environment and unsustainable. I mean, I can see that there are problems with it. But the solution that they proposed was to take everyone from the rural areas and move them into a suburb part, and then also move a lot of businesses into that suburb and a lot of other stuff, until eventually the suburb just became a new city. It's always centralizing stuff. Did you decentralize from the city? Yeah, sort of, but you also centralize more from the rural areas into a new little city. That's kind of how Agenda 21 works. That's like the basic gist of it. There is maybe another more sinister layer that has to do with an agenda to rewild areas, to restrict human movement and habitation of areas. It's under the guise of protecting biodiversity, protecting wildlands, protecting animals. Under the guise, as in, that is kind of true, but it takes it to a sort of extreme, such as like with the Wildlands project, where you don't really have a choice. I mean, in the end, the goal is that you will have to live in a city. Of course, they have nice solutions for you, such as the stack and pack apartments. Like, you have mini homes, now you can have like mini apartments, really small. Why so small? Well, I guess that's part of it. Get used to it. And no elevator. And of course, like, everything you need will be like right in the area, so you can just live upstairs, go downstairs to work, go to the gym on another floor. I think maybe you would go crazy in that kind of a habitat. It's like a hamster habitat. Who wants to live like that? Anyway, that's all part of the program. So back to the wildlands project. The goal is to rewild a lot of areas to protect biodiversity. And most of America would under this be restricted access. You'd have to live in these cities. Well, that coincides really well with the Trans-American passenger network, because that would make that actually possible if you had that kind of infrastructure. And the problem with this is loss of private property. That private property will be bought up by elite trusts or government organizations. And so if that would suck for anyone who actually has nice land out in the country, pristine land. For whatever reason, now, hey, you can't have this. It's to protect biodiversity. This needs to be rewilded. It's going to be a conservation zone. And we're going to force you to, one way or another, to sell that land to the trust or the government. And this is actually happening. There's a project called Florida Forever. And under this, 21 million acres of private property have already been forced away from the owners. People have been forced to give this property up. It now belongs to the government or these elite private trusts. And another factor in all of this, since as Agenda 21 has been saying from the beginning, we have too many people, that I think, you know, population control in terms of birth control comes into this also. But whatever it is, it's definitely easier to control people when they're in cities. The solution is stack them and pack them. And that's where this is heading. And take away private property. I mean, this is all part of this agenda. So what could be done with these villages, though, in the meantime? Let me know if you have any ideas. One idea that I saw, which was kind of cool, was why don't you send the refugees there? You could. They need infrastructure, though. It's true. Infrastructure and access to food. But yeah, like, you know, they're probably pretty resourceful people. So just, why don't you just send them to the European villages? Also, you could use them as like retirement communities. Maybe like drug rehabs. Send them out to the country. Maybe rehabs for people who are addicted to video games. You take your spoiled kid over there where he has no access to Wi-Fi and just let him sweat it out. You can send hippies to live over there. People who want to live an alternative lifestyle. Here's your chance. Go buy a European village and do whatever you want there. So let me know what you think. Thanks for giving me a thumbs up. Thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.